Jack, can you talk a little bit about your Jack Myers Survey of Advertiser study? I love the study because when I headed up my last research department, we were number
You
one.
were number one, yes you were.
But I'd like to know if you've seen any trends. You've been doing it for a number of years.
25 years.
Wow. And are there any suggestions you can make for networks to do better?
Well, the challenge that I have in our survey work is that the rank and file within the agencies are much less engaged and involved than they had been in the past. There are far fewer person-to-person sales calls being made. A lot of work is being done on the phone and via computer and email. A lot of the buying and selling is moving into the computer and into online exchanges, especially in the digital community. So the junior people who used to be very eager to give feedback because they were engaged, they were involved, they knew their salespeople, and they would send back surveys or with pages of notes that they wanted to anonymously communicate to the networks and the media sellers. Today we don't have that kind of engagement and involvement. We have it with the senior people still, but my methodology has always been to talk to all levels of those who are involved in the process. So I think it's important that the opportunity in terms of how sales organizations can do better is to kind of work to break down those barriers, to build communication links to those junior people, to know who they are, to communicate with them, whether you are seeing them individually or not. Send them a personal email, attach your photo to that email so they know what you look like, communicate to them on a personal level, send them movie tickets, create a personal bond, because those personal bonds are disintegrating in business today. And I think the single most important hope for our future as an industry is that as technology disintermediates the personal relationship between buyer and seller, which it's going to do on an increasing basis, that the sales organizations and the buying and planning organizations find ways to come together on a human and individual and personal basis.
So what advice would you give a young person starting out today?
The more platforms you can be involved with, the better. Certainly learn the technology is very important, and understanding how the technology will work. But if I were coming into the industry today, I'd want to be in a situation where I had personal relationships. What's collapsing in our business today is the personal relationships that have existed and been so important to our industry. So I'd want an opportunity, number one, to work in multiple platforms. I'd want to know legacy media. I wouldn't want to just be digital. Nor would I want to just be legacy. I'd want to be involved in mobile. I'd want to be involved in online. I'd want to understand the dynamics of what's happening across the whole spectrum and ecosystem of media. And I think there are very few opportunities to do that. So I'd get a job where I had that opportunity to be as multi-platform as possible and to build as many personal relationships as possible. I think when you're looking for a job, the most important thing you have is your constituency. And your constituency are those who know you, trust you, and will give you a good reference and say good things about you. And we have so many people working today who are not building up a constituency of friends, allies, support group within the industry. I think that's the great thing about groups like AWNI, Advertising Women of New York, and associations and groups. And I also think it's one of the great values of Facebook and some of the groups that have grown up around the ad business in Facebook. It's a way to come together and personalize what's being depersonalized. And that the recommendation that I would make is meet as many people as you can and build as many relationships as you can.
It's great advice. Jack, thank you. This has been just a fascinating interview, and I really appreciate your time.
It's nice of you to say that. Thank you.